All right, we're halfway through this long 4th of July weekend. There's nothing new coming for almost a week of recording this. So we're just going to sort of look towards the future, suppose, sort of look back a little bit and kind of give the mid-season grade on MLB The Show 24. Is it good? No. Is it bad? Kind of. Do I think MLB The Show 21 was the best game ever? Possibly. Ultimately, we just want to look at everything, sort of see where everything is, see where everything's coalescing. Do things look good? Are things looking brighter? We really don't know. But let's sort of take a look at where we are in this kind of State of the Union-esque thing. Or something. Let's just see what we got. Here we go. So again, this is coming out, I don't know if it's going out Friday or Saturday, but ultimately, if you haven't seen this yet, because you've been away, nothing's coming out till the 12th. So we got Team Affinity for All-Stars, so all the All-Stars that are probably going to be named, that are being named. The rest of the league comes out on Sunday, so that's probably what your team's going to be if you're only getting one. If there's multiple, there'll probably be packs. There usually are, so bear with things as things kind of flow. Oh my god, I didn't go into DD. Son of a god! Okay, now that we're here. So looking at all this, let me just... I hope they do well on the All-Star stuff. Again, it's going to be one for every team, so that's why you're going to get All-Star cards. I hope none of these should be flashbacks. It says 2024. There should be that. There's a collection, so meaning it's probably going to be like what it was in the past, similar to that Vlad one, where you're probably going to you'll get a card. It was like the Shohei one from 21. And then event drops, awards drop season 6, and then the draft stuff on Tuesday. It'll probably be what it was last year. We got some pretty cool draft cards. I don't necessarily... This is sort of going to be, I think, the make or break point for a lot of people. And I'm not sounding this horn because I don't think it's necessarily going to be an issue, but I know a lot of people talk about NCAA. Now, NCAA is going to come and no one's going to play MLB The Show. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think all it's going to do is it's going to prevent... It's not going to have people be playing it every day if they haven't been already. I really don't know. I've actively looked for like PlayStation charts, and there's stuff that says it's not doing hot. But again, there's no way to actively track users like on Steam. In some cases, I've seen as low as 50 in terms of it. And I mean, granted, like all the other ones are what do you expect, like CSGO and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's necessarily performing poorly. It doesn't necessarily seem like it's performing bad. I think the biggest problem when you're trying to gauge stuff like this, and this is just me, is because it's such a top-heavy category on Twitch. So, like, if I were to go there right now, let's just see for funsies. If I were to go there right now, I don't think MLB The Show is going to be very, very high. If I had to throw down a guess today, yeah, it's not. The highest one is Chev. He's got a 401 views right now. There's just 1K total. Again, because no one necessarily big is streaming, so the discrepancy is just going to drop. It goes from 400 at Chev to 100, and then just down the hill from there. So, yeah, when the top guys aren't streaming, it kind of sinks everything into a hole. But is it in trouble? To say it's in trouble, I think being very narrow-minded a lot of times. But let's just sort of break it down. Let's go down the list. We've done this before, but we're going to speak this broadly. Programs, I don't like them. I think this has been my biggest gripe for the last couple of years. Is I don't like this because I think it puts a precedence on playing this game actively every day when there's just more that you want to do. There's more you want to do. There's more I want to do. There's other games to play. There's NCAA is one of them. There's what? There's Elden Ring. There's First Descent if you're into that. There's Fortnite if you're into that. There's Pokemon mods that we can play. There's actively so much more stuff going on that trying and getting people to play this thing actively is insane to me. I don't feel like I'm as behind as I was before because I think ultimately we'll probably get this in another month. I haven't gotten this wildcard slot. I haven't used any wildcards, to be honest with you. All this. I assume I'll probably finish this. I think, again, I think I said this when we saw this the first time. I think this is incredibly dumb. I don't know why the last thing's a boss pack from where it's at. If they went 90 to 100, why not make it 110? You went for a whole K, like just Why? Why is it 1.5? The pacing doesn't make sense to me again. So wherever I want to throw these millionaire packs into the gutter. I don't like this as an active way of getting stuff. I wasn't the biggest fan necessarily of inning programs either, but I think inning programs at least made it to where it was like, hey, I'm not actively passively doing crap. I don't care if the season 2 reward pass in the background. I really don't. I just don't think it should be the front face of the thing. I think there should be, like, if they wanted to do this stuff, like, take Fortnite, for instance. I don't know why I'm necessarily picking on Fortnite, but the way Fortnite does it is, like, layers of stuff where it's like, hey, this is the battle pass, but inside the battle pass, there's side stuff. Like, Magneto just came out. There are specific missions to get Magneto. And then you can do that to get Magneto. And then you're passively going to get stuff. You're going to get stars for the battle pass. How hard is it to do that? Where it's like there's something active going on and all that. So I don't know why. I personally, I don't know. Maybe it's because last time it was so awful. And plus, we're on the 4th of July weekend. There's no double XP. I think that has something to do with next week. But it still is very stupid. Still very dumb. I would have pushed it out this week. But that's not, you're not there. Team Affinity, I thought these cards didn't really do anything. I talked about this before. These cards didn't really tickle my pickle. I don't think any of the cards out of season have even tickled my pickle, to be frank with you. Like, there were some that I thought were great, like Brad Miller was amazing. Tom Anke, I couldn't care less about. Ryan Roberts always has a fun swing. But I was like, couldn't care less. I don't think I even technically finished yet. See, like, I still need the NL Central. This is how little I cared about this. Where it was like, nothing really tickled me. Like, I don't care about Robin Yount. I'm not going to use Robin Yount anymore. Eric Davis, people love him. I hate his swing at the Fiery Passion 10,000 Sun. Willie Stargell was okay. There wasn't a whole lot there that was like, yeah, let's do this. To be honest with you. But we'll probably get it done passively. It was the last thing, too. But Team Affinity, I hope the All-Star does a little bit more. Because, like I said, I'm not actively doing this stuff. There was nothing here that excited me. They were 89s. It was just for me personally. Because I can use live series captains. It's better than this stuff. I just don't know what they were thinking with this. I would have pushed this up to... I've been saying from the rip that if they're going to do this, put these at the upper echelon of it or in the middle. Like, these should have been 91, 92s. 89s is stupid. It's a dumb idea, and I think that's going to be hindrance because I'm going to laugh my little butt off if these were 93. If those all-star cards are 93s, I'm going to be pissing myself with laughter because it truly means they don't care. I don't think they will be. I think they're going to be 97s. That would be the smart one, is boost them a little bit because they're essentially mid-season first half finest cards. But if they're 93s, people will actively lose their minds, and that might actually be the end of the game. I'm hoping they won't be, but based on everything around it that we're going to see here, based on this right here, I think they're going to be 95s. Is that good, bad, or indifferent? It is what it is. I think that's better. I really hope they're 97s, but I have a hunch they're going to be 94, 95s. Which, again, I don't think it's a death sentence, but I don't think it's going to be making people very happy. And then there'll be people all over the place who are just going to be actively mad saying, like, oh, content creators hate the game. I don't hate the game. My biggest gripe, really, is when I'm looking at the stuff surrounding it to get the context clues of it, and I see 94, 95. That's pretty good, right? The Team Affinity stuff for 4 weeks actively should be a little bit higher than that threshold. And at the lightning card, remember, the lightning card here, this lightning card that we just got, Loris Lewis is a 95. He should be one of the best cards in the game at this point. He is one of the best cards in this game at this point. But he's only going to be there for like a week, and then this is going to plummet because of all the Team Affinity stuff. And the All-Star stuff, which is fine. That's kind of just the way it breaks, unfortunately, is that content should be... The All-Star content needs and should be the best stuff in the game from all angles. It needs to be actively the best stuff you're going to get for this first half. That Apex is going to hit, and if they miss it, the game will be in shambles. Simple as that. And like I said, actively looking at this, I have a hunch they're going to be 95s. I'm crossing my fingers that they're going to be 97s. I don't think they are. I feel like they're going to be 95s. And I don't know, because if they're saying there's a collection, it's going to be different. Now, talking about this stuff in particular, I've seen a lot of people really criticize the programs. I said it before, I'll say it again. This season 1 was on par with what we had last year. Was last year good? It was all right. I don't think they did a really good job on it. But in terms of where we were kind of on point. It was active. It just wasn't, it didn't seem as much. Now, looking at this and sort of saying, well, are we still on par? To a degree, yes. The redeeming quality, if you want to look at it this way, in terms of programs we had last year or last season, apart from like that were new, you had what, 5? So season 1 recap will count as a new one. Season 5 flashback. So you had 4, 5, right? You had 5 there. So as of now, we have 1, 2, 3. I'll count that 4. So that means we're getting 1 more. Hypothetically. I think we're going to be getting more than that. I think they're going to do an all-star draft program again. So that'll be 4 or 5, depending if you count the program, this pack thing. That'll be another one. Is that good, bad, or different? I don't know, but if we're getting 5 programs in 12 weeks, it's 1 every 2 weeks, give or take. I think they can do a little bit more. But again, there's stuff I think they miss intentionally. They didn't last year. So I don't know. I think programs are going to be are just in a weird spot, and that's just kind of unfortunate. Mini seasons, I think mini seasons is dead. At this point, we haven't gotten a new one where you can get a card like this guy. That hasn't happened yet. Don't know where that guy is, where he's disappeared to. Got me on that one front there, Chief. Conquest, there was no new conquest this week. I don't know why. I assume it was they just forgot. Showdowns, I don't care about showdowns. Multiplayers, looking at the event, I don't mind. I haven't started this yet. I'm probably not going to until next week. Because the last one I got very quickly. So we'll kind of see. I like this format a lot more than the other ones. I know they said they wanted to do them 2 weeks for 20 wins. I kind of like this like week for 10 wins thing because it makes things go by faster. I think I played 20 games in total and I got him, or less. I think it was like, I don't even remember. But it was a lot of like, I know people were complaining, like, why are people just quitting? I don't think people wanted to deal with it because of how short it was. There's like, if it's just straight into this, I don't want to deal with it. So I got it fairly fast, and at this point too, like picking up some of these cards, like if you saw Polanco like I did, brilliant. Duvall's definitely not going to be that expensive, but he's 30k stubs if you need it. And with how these rewinds are, like I'm gonna have every card from every event if I play my cards right. Like I could pick him up for nothing. So I like this format. I think this particular format gives players a reason to play, and also too having this where it is at 4 or 5 wins. Is great, and plus it's lower card, so if it's just collection fodder, it's just collection fodder. I think this is better, although if it were to go back, if this were to be at 6 and this were at 10, I guess, but I like this idea a lot more. I think now there's a reason to play, but it is events, it is what it is. BR, I think's BR to me is a fascinating turn of events here, because I think they did a lot to it that made it worse. Program-wise, I don't know if they fixed this, but I remember somebody making the comment that they miscounted. So in the 87s, there's 4 cards, and they only give you 3. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. No, they did change it. Was it they gave you 4 or 5? That might have been it. So they gave these golds. Wait. So there's 4 cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, they did change it. So it was 4 and like 5 or something. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think's what it was. So they did fix it. Oh, they did fix it, which is good. Which is good. So they did fix it. But again, I don't think BR is necessarily. I've never been the biggest fan of BR, and the way they've sort of changed it, sort of just, kind of. You can use that. Can you not get all those gold players? I know you get 2 there, 2 here. I'm just not the biggest fan of it. I've never been the biggest fan of it. If you are, hey, kudos. But I think they've watered it down with how it is. To getting some of these live players. I don't know why. The flawless cards are okay. I love Vlad. I love Vlad. I think Dozier's also pretty good. To me, I think there's better ways to spend your time than doing this personally. But hey, you do it. You do you. I care less. Ranked. I think Gomes said it best, where it's like right now. Why did I hit play ranked? I don't want to play ranked. Ranked right now on the first part right now is it really worth it? It's kind of slow, and I would agree with that. All the missions right now, I mean, if you really wanted to knock the stuff out, you probably could. But stat missions wise, I just don't think it's that great yet. I would say wait the 2 weeks and kind of do it, or do it very passively. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like here's like Jason Jobby. Jason Jobby's gonna fall down to the 6K like he always did. I really want Mike Trout, so I'm probably gonna try to actively play it to get him, which is gonna make it good. But again, it's just not. To me, it's not worth until there's 2 weeks left, which is a very sad, unfortunate thing. Packs wise, this is an absolute joke. I hate it. I wanted to die. I wanted to burn with fire, because this is not something like this. I care less about these. This week for packs was a god awful week. This chase card right here is by far the funniest thing ever. Someone posted a picture on the Reddit where it's comparing this card to like the P5 Willie Castro card from last season, and it was like strikingly similar. I don't know what they did to Lindor for this, but my god, this card sucks. Like, it's bad. So if you're a fan of like, man, I'm gonna get some packs today. I mean, here, you want to know what's funny? This card's arguably better than this one. The headliner. This looks like a headliner. This is like a chase card. I'm wondering if they flipped them, because this card is substantially better than this card. What is he going for, actually? How is he going for that much? He sucks. Okay, that's cool. That's interesting. Yeah, so that card kind of sucks. These cards were kind of okay. I don't know. What are the lower ones going for? These kind of cheap. Yeah, they're kind of cheap. That might be worth a little bit of a pickup. These cards, all these awards cards, I thought were okay. At the end of the day, this one, I think this one was just more of a meme. I really wish they would just put this in the program, because it was kind of cool for Mets fans, but they were okay. It's just a really weird ruffian about it. Last thing I want to talk about here is storylines. I think storylines needs a vast change, but I don't think it's going to get one. So I've heard some other people talk about it, which was Bob Kendrick said they had a 3-year contract, so this is year 2. I don't know if they're going to have more past next year. But if they do have it next year, I kind of hope they take a look at this and sort of push these a little bit higher, or take it out entirely. Because they're 85s. I really wish these were 89s, but a lot of it too is just they're sort of like, hey, here's a reward for it. I wish these were 89s, make them least playable, because this is a fun team, in my opinion, or at least give them like higher equivalencies you can unlock. But it is what it is. Like the Willie Mays here, I really wish this core Willie Mays was an 89. It's not. And it is what it is. Same thing with the Jeter stuff. It just felt kind of empty, because the rewards here to me just felt sort of blah. Like this should have been 85. That should have been an 86 or something. This should have been like an 87, 89. I don't know. I guess my whole thing is like, if they're gonna be core cards, I wish they were kind of usable, because it'd be kind of cool to like be like that, use some of these cards to begin the year instead of just, I don't know. Like, I guess the live series thing sort of took it over, but like I think it'd been kind of cool to use like this kind of thing and combine it with like a Yankees themed team and just go to town with it. But they didn't really give you that opportunity to. So either make these a little bit more viable on the back end, or just don't do it next year, or just have them separate. It feels like there's a lot of hit and misses. So let me put a bow. Let's put a bow on this thing, and we'll cry about and look forward to next. Ultimately, Diamond Dynasty, I think so far, at least to me, I'm going to say low C, high D. Reason being, a lot of stuff behind pack content, and I think the supplemental content that went with it didn't add up to something worth anything, personally. There wasn't just, it was a lot of fat, and I think that's the biggest thing, is when you're actually trying to look at stuff and trying to prioritize your stuff, how are you actually going to be getting players to play your game? right? You got to give them cards they want. And they don't have to be the greatest cards. I mean, you kind of saw it. They gave out rookie cards for Tatis and Acuna, which were fun. They gave out, a free Diamond Ohtani and a Diamond Trout, which was fun. But ultimately, why are we in this process of repeat cards and stuff? Either fill out your Legends slots more, or actively try to be more open to things. And I know there's like these mythical conversations they've had with content creators saying like, hey, they weren't going to repeat, they weren't going to do this, they weren't going to do that. And so far, I guess they've been okay with it, but it does seem like there are a lot of repeats and just cards that we've seen actively before just be thrown back in there, which is an issue to me personally. I know when it comes to this stuff, I try to actively sort of say like, here's a problem, here's the solution. I don't know what the solution here is. Use cards that people actively want to use. Throw things that are a little bit more enticing. Not throw everything, these collections and stuff behind packs. Because I don't think to me, that's not a good way to get people to play your game. Is like, hey, the only way to get an Arenado is to spend. I play gacha games. I understand the methodology of it's a slot machine and all you want to do is pull the slot machine more. That's fine. I get it. It's a business. But at the end of the day, when most people probably aren't going to be doing that except for a select few players who are whales and will actively do this, you're going to have people who won't do it. Right? And I know you can make the Asmongold argument and say, well, they're minnows in the ecosystem. They're still in the ecosystem. Cool. Then I think most players, if they give them the chance, will probably leave. If the drops aren't good, people will stop playing. It's just the fact. Whether that's because of NCAA 25, whether that's because of Elden Ring, whether it's because of Fortnite, whether it's because of a new game on the horizon that people are excited for, whether it's effing Minecraft, people will actually stop playing your game because it sucks. And I know for the most part, the devs have said they are on the side of the players, which if they are saying that, hey, that's a big win for everyone. Honestly, because if they're actually playing their game at this level and they're like, hey, I'm having a terrible experience with this game, we need to fix it, then that's what we need to have happen. I have no reason to disbelieve it. I have no reason to believe it. But that's actually what they're saying. Based on what I have seen, I have a lot to be desired. There's a lot to be desired, and I think it's unfortunate that they're in the position they're in, whether it's Sony doing it for them, whether it's they themselves doing this. This game has potential. Like, again, I have 21 literally right here. Am I going to put it in? No, because I don't. I wanted to go down that route, and then I realized this is kind of stupid. Why am I feeding nostalgia? Why am I feeding nostalgia when it's like it's not actually going to actively fix any problems? It's not. Like, it's actively not going to. If I really don't want to play this game, guess what? I'll play something else. I got plenty. But all that being said, let me know down below. What do you think so far? What is your mid-season grade for MLB The Show? Like I said, for me, it's a high D, low C. Kind of depends on it. The reason why I'm getting the low C mostly is strictly because I'm hopeful that the all-star content's good. If it's bad, well, your days are numbered, I suppose. So that being said, my name's Vex. I'll see you guys all in the next one.